said bad luck.
I'm not wonderful, yeah, knock on wood.
Knock on wood, but it would be my hope to see Scream last forever and ever and ever.
Me too. One other thing that I think was a real standout in the movie was that you guys ended up with 4 final girls. Like, that was super fucking cool, and it was something that I remember when I saw the film for the first time. I was so focused on it. Was that always the design? Was that always the plan, or was someone else maybe supposed to die, or?
That was in the script that we read. It was exactly that. And there was something, I remember reading it for the first time, and we all kind of had that same reaction that you had. We were like, that's fucking cool. Like
the first time I read the script, I loved it, because I instantly felt the sisterhood between Sam and Tara and Sydney and Gail. And that parallel, that worked. I thought it worked beautifully. It was on the page, and it made it to the screen beautifully.
Yeah. I'm still pissed about Dewey, but...
I am too.
Can he, maybe he lived? We don't know.
Brothers don't know about.
Stab 8 went off the rails, so.
Briefly before, I've got some fan questions, but one other thing I just wanted to bring up. So, Easter eggs. Were they in there? Were there a bunch of them? Were there tons of them? Like, are they everywhere?
There are tons.
Yeah.
So many. Yeah. And
are there any favorites you want to mention, or are we trying to keep that secret?
Man.
I know Kirby was definitely a big one.
You know, that YouTube page where Kirby is, that is like Easter egg central. Every single thing on there is designed to have fun if you're looking for it. And the Kirby one was a really big one. You know, we love Kirby too, and we were like, here's our chance to let her live. So Kirby lives.
Kirby lives. That's amazing.
Sorry, Kevin.
No, I'm all for it. Let's do it.
I
mean, if you remember correctly, in Scream 1, Dewey died.
True.
And Wes had the smarts to shoot it one other way. And so he lived.
Smart.
Am I wrong, David? Isn't that?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Very smart. We're glad that you did that. That would have been a real bummer.
Well, through the whole process, we fell in love with Dewey, and we fell in love with David, and then suddenly it just became the right thing to do.
All right, I got some fan questions. Some fan questions, okay? All right, so at Patricia M asks, was it hard to adapt the classic Scream formula and to feel the classic Scream formula and feel to a newer generation and audience since it's been so long since the last installment came out?
Yes and no, because I think, you know, so much of that was just baked into the script that we read, and the script that Guy and Jamie wrote had that interwoven so well, where, you know, it had all of the stuff that we love about the original 4, and then it had all these new characters that we were falling in love with, and the way that their stories and the whole movie that you guys just watched did it. We just felt this is exactly what it should be. So it was kind of there, and all we had to do was not mess it up.
Zach Alexander asks, is there anything that you learned when you were making Ready or Not that you brought to Scream?
You know what, one that we just were just talking about, and I think we just kind of landed on this, but because Ready or Not was such a low budget movie, and we had to make it feel big and huge, we really, really, really relied on our actors to carry us through it and make sure that it was always focused so solely on character. So especially Samara Weaving in that, who plays the main character, we really we just made sure that it was always about character first. And I think that it was a wonderful learning experience. And then I think we really tried to bring that to this, where it's more about the characters than anything, because it's one of the things, I think, one of a million reasons we love the original Scream is because you love all those characters so much. And, you know, 25 years later, we're still so attached to them. And I think that's something we wanted to bring to it.
All right, so this one's for you, David. At Beautiful Day to You Too, which is clearly a very nice person, or a serial killer. What scene of all 5 films was the most difficult to film, and why?
I'd say probably there's a big speech, a really long speech at Scream 2, a big walking and talking speech, and I was just didn't nail it the first time. Wes was like, oh, that's unusable. And we tried it, we kept trying it that day, but it didn't work. But then I had some more time with the lines. It was just a lot of dialogue to inexperience to that line. Like, you know, my dim-witted inexperience is merely for like, yeah, to nail it. Don't ever have me sign that on a poster. So, what is it? Dim-witted inexperience. No, so yeah, that one.
All right, we got another one for you. At Not Daniel Peñas asks, what made you say yes to coming back for this new Scream?
I mean, their letter really, or the conversation I had was really great. But I just love playing the role of Dewey. I love the connection that I have with horror fans when I meet them. When you meet somebody and they're like, this movie had such an impact on me, and some people have tattoos, like the whole thing. So I don't know. It's just you're in this business to entertain you guys. It's such an honor to be able to do it. And when you do something that you like, it's when all this stuff comes together and you're like, oh, I'm so glad you like it and enjoy it, and it takes you away from just, you know, every day for a second. You can live in this world and get to know these characters, and you know, I can't say how much this movie series has meant to me, just in Wes, especially just how much I learned from him, how much he meant to me.
Yeah. I think it's something that really shines in the film. You know, again, as a huge fan myself, making movies is really hard. I mean, it's just crazy hours and no sleep and a lot of struggles, but like there's so much love on that screen. You know, there's so much passion and there's so much affection for the characters and the franchise, and again, the end of the film for Wes. I mean, I think that's it's a beautiful thing, and it was the whole movie feels like a tribute, you know, and I think that's really wonderful. It's super cool. All right, let's see, we got one more question. I think I have time for one more. Okay, this is for everybody. It's kind of a weird loaded question, but I'll ask it. Who has been your favorite Ghostface killer and why?
Well,
Let's start with you.
Skeet and Matthew were just the original, like, those two are just such incredible actors, such incredible guys in general. I mean, I don't mean to, like, you know, take away from, you know, everyone in this film, but they did a great job too. But just, I don't know, the Skeet and Matthew, just getting to know them and just having known them for all these years, they're just so wonderful.
Man.
Same thing. I mean, I just think that they're so incredible in that first movie, and I think especially the whole arc they have, but that kitchen scene is, I think, my favorite scene, you know, one of my favorite scenes of all time in any movie. So yeah, just incredible.
I'm gonna jump from that, only because they are great and they are wonderful. So whoever came afterward had a really high bar. And so I'm gonna go with Laurie Metcalf. And the reason I say that is you know, Skeet and Matt, first of all, they're the best actors to work with. The ad-libs that Matt did made me look so good. And I constantly thank him for that, and I saw it as a shout out. He's just was so wonderful and helping me look good. But Laurie Metcalf, it was a chant. It was such a bar for her to have to do. She had this big monologue at the end. We were in the middle of rewrites. I was sitting in the theater chair writing it on sides. She was sitting there next to me, and we were just trying to figure it out. And I wrote it 3 different ways, and she did it 3 different ways, and then she did it 10 different ways. She just impressed me in the moment. And her commitment and her ability and her talent and her skill. I'm gonna go with Laurie Metcalf only because you guys said.
Yeah. If you ever see Matt Lillard at a horror convention, you'll see the longest line of everyone. And he's taking like like 10 minutes with each person, and he's sitting, he's hugging them. He's just like, it's like the.
He's a great guy. Yeah. I think we're out of time, guys. Please give it up for everyone up here. They're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It wouldn't be anything without the fans, so thank you.
Yeah.
Fucking iPhone. I think it's gonna eat it. It wasn't on purpose. He's trying to kill everybody.